We're very honored to have with us Dr. Peter Haikalis, a prominent member of our community, a president of Modern Greek Studies Foundation, former president of the Ascension Cathedral in Oakland, and president right now of the Orthodox Christian Laity, OCL. Peter, I would like to welcome you to our program.
Thank you, Dimitri. It's a pleasure to be here. This is an important time for us and for all Greek Orthodox in the United States.
Great. So let's talk a little bit about OCL. What is the purpose of the organization?
Surely. OCL was founded in 1987, and it's an organization which now has a national membership of close to a little bit more than 5,000 people, both clergy members and laypersons of various Orthodox jurisdictions, but primarily of the Greek Orthodox Church. And our goals are educational, and also we're interested in spiritual renewal, and ultimately we're also interested in what the role of the laity and the clergy should be in the governance of the church in the United States. Mm-hmm. And I think we're particularly focused on that issue at the present time.
Can you talk a little bit about the difference between autonomy and autocephaly?
Yeah, those are two important words to define. And I think that people oftentimes confuse them. The word autocephaly comes from the Greek words which authokephalia, which means totally independent, an independent church, Orthodox church, as are the churches in Greece, Albania, other countries of Europe, Russia, who owe no direct allegiance or have no direct tie to the Patriarchate in Istanbul. The word autonomy means a self-governing church, and by that I mean a church where there is a considerable amount of lay clergy input, and but which still maintains the tie of a close tie to the Patriarchate. One of the things I want to point out in the early history of the Orthodox Church, the principle that was followed was syndiakonia. Mm-hmm. And syndiakonia means the working together of clergy, laity, and hierarchs for the benefit of the church, not in religious matters, but primarily or strictly in administrative, for administrative purposes. And we would like to see that concept of syndiakonia reestablished in the church here in this country, as it was many years ago.
But the current status is autonomy, basically.
The current status that we are seeking is a more autonomous, more self-governing church here in the United States.
Right. And now here in the United States, how long has the Greek Orthodox Church has been an organized group?
All right, well, as many of you know, because your parents were part of the founders of the Greek Orthodox Church, in the United States, as opposed to Europe, the church started from the bottom up. In fact, the early immigrants who came built the churches themselves, brought the priests from Greece. Finally, in 1922, the church was established as a legal entity in the United States with a charter, and in the state of New York, and that charter covers the entire church in this country. And the original charter of the church was very much like what we would like to see happening now. It truly was a document which emphasized syndiakonia. The archbishop at that time then went to Istanbul and became patriarch. And in the 1930s, there was a change, a new charter was established, and then there have been 3 or 4 subsequent charters, and each one is sort of cut back a little bit on the amount of self-governance.
And there is some kind of controversy on the charter right now.
That's right. The most recent charter that was instituted was established in 1977, and we're still operating under that charter now. The charter provides for a legal process for amendment or change. And one of our concerns that process is being violated at the present time. We're not following such a process. In approximately 3 years ago, it was decided to take a look at the current charter and to move to perhaps modify it or change it. And there were 2 different things that occurred. The first change, or the first plan, was offered about 18 months ago. And in that plan, the church was, for all intents and purposes, autonomous. It harkened back to the 1922 charter. Well, needless to say, when that charter was presented to the patriarch for his input, he was very unhappy with it, he and his colleagues. And there were some heated discussions that took place at the Fanar, at which several of the members of the Synod said that they felt that they knew better about how the church should function in the United States than we should. So the charter was revised and modified, and a lot of the, it gives a real sense of micromanagement now to the Patriarchate in Istanbul. It's come back, and there's a conflict now, or controversy, in which is said that we don't have to follow the legal process in order to amend the charter, but rather the Patriarch may just give that to us as a gift. Well, you know, when you get a gift, you better look at, see what kinds of strings are attached, because nothing comes for free. And it's our concern that this gift is not good for us. And we simply want to raise the awareness of Greek Orthodox throughout the country about some of the liabilities of the charter, number one, and number two, to ask that at the Clergy Laity Congress in Los Angeles, the matter be brought forward in an orderly, business-like manner, discussed, and have the delegates at the Congress either vote the proposed charter up or vote it down. And that seems to be an issue as well.
What is the position of our metropolitans and our archbishop?
Well, the metropolitans originally wrote the original, gave input, and were on the committee that wrote the original document, which the Patriarch objected to and ordered them to revise. And so that they have been very, I think, they're ambivalent, is the best way that I can put it. Their statements in public are supportive, but they are not enthusiastically in support.
And how much support does OCL have in this controversy?
Well, I think that the support is growing considerably. We've, in the last 3 months, raised almost $500,000 in major donations from a variety of people. So that's one indication of the support. Another indication of support is that well over 100 churches now have indicated that in response to some questionnaires that were set out, they're concerned about the charter and about the fact that it may not be on the agenda for the Clergy Laity Congress. And I think one last thing I wanted to say about support is that independent surveys that have been taken show that something like 73% of the Greek Orthodox in the United States have some concerns or some crisis of confidence in the way this matter is being handled by our archdiocese. And then in addition to that, a little over 60%, 65% actually, favor some increased form of independence for the church in this country. So I think that if one were to work with the laity and the clergy in these matters, you'd find that there's a great deal of support for the OCL position, and that position is one of a more independent church where the clergy and the laity would have a role in the selection of bishops, where they would also have an increased role in the planning of the programs of the church. I think one of our real concerns in OCL is that our church is hemorrhaging. Children are leaving. They're disinterested in the faith of their parents. In the case of mixed marriages, which are the majority of marriages in our church now, spouses that are non-Orthodox seem to be, in some way, they don't find a home in the church. And we think that these are important issues, and we have to figure out a way to try and deal with them. And the way to deal with them is to try and resolve these matters here, not to allow a foreign, or not a foreign, but an entity which has no true feeling for what Orthodox life is like in the United States to impose decisions and solutions upon us.
So you're basically talking about, in your opinion, solutions to the problem.
That's right. We're talking about solutions which American people feel more comfortable with versus solutions imposed by people who live in a foreign country, in Turkey for that matter.
Great. Peter, can you talk a little bit about the upcoming, how do you call it, conference of OCL in Los Angeles?
All right. Actually, the conference that's going to occur in Los Angeles is the Clergy Laity Congress, and that'll take place at the end of June, beginning of July. And every church in the United States is allocated so many delegates. Of course, the priest is one of the delegates, and the other delegates are elected by each of the parishes. and an important, that process is going on at the present time. So as the churches, parishes throughout the country are electing their delegates, they're also taking a position on the charter. I might add that our cathedral in Oakland has taken a strong position opposing any gift charter, any imposition of a charter. We've been joined by other churches in San Francisco. As the 100 churches represent parishes from Honolulu to Boston. So it's not just a small group, isolated group that are having a concern about this matter at the present time.
Great. We appreciate that you gave us the toll-free number and the email address for our viewers who wish to find out more about OCL and the upcoming Congress. And the phone number is 1-877-585-0245. The email address is ocladm@ocl.org. Peter, I would like to thank you very much for coming. We would like to have you again in the near future to give us another update.
Okay.
Congratulations for
Thank
this
you.
function. We're proud of you.
Thank you very much.
And we appreciate your time.
Well, we're proud of Greek TV, too. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.